This is a good angle, but I'm holding my phone, so I can't. Okay, so I made all my friends ask me questions for this Q&A that I want to do because I have nothing better to do, and it's the same day as my last video because I'm bored. So bored. And so, basically, I wrote down all the questions on a piece of paper as I showed you, so I'm just gonna answer them. So, the first question is, what is the most effective way to calm your dog's anxiety as well as your own? So, the most effective way to calm your dog's anxiety, definitely make them wear something like a coat because that makes them feel more secure, but also make sure that you're calm. And to make sure that you're calm, maybe you need to meditate more, maybe you just need to like sit down and relax and don't stress about things as much. Make sure that you have time to be able to relax and not always go because then you're not going to be able to. But to make sure that your dog is also calm, to make sure that you're correcting them whenever they need to be corrected, or to make sure that you're in charge and that they're not gonna, stomp all over you, because they can get anxiety for thinking that they're in charge. So, because they don't know how to be that way, they're supposed to be behind you. So, yeah, that's that. My dream animal is the next question. My dream animal as a pet would be dog. I love dogs. They're just amazing. I would never get a wolf because they're not domesticated and it's not healthy for them to be in a household environment. They're supposed to be in the wild. Same with wolf dogs. They're not even supposed to be around in the first place, and they're very hard to keep as domestic animals. So, yeah. What would you do if you turn into a dog for a day? Oh, that's a good one. I would definitely run away from my house. I would run away. I would not talk, but I would definitely interact with other dogs. But I would run away because if I am human, I have rules, but dogs are allowed to run away. And, because the parents and the owners don't know how to control them. So I would just make my life and my family stress about me because I can run away and come back and be free. What would you do? Oh, sorry, that's not the question. Do mermaids exist? I used to think that they did when I was little. I actually tried to turn into one. I looked up spells. They didn't work. It was very uncomfortable. Have you ever dated someone / how many? I have dated 2 people. It's more of I dated not seriously, but I dated someone when I was in preschool, but then I dated him for 7 years. But turns out he was gay, so but it's okay. We're best friends. He's like my brother, so yeah. And then I dated this other guy for 7 months. And it was a lot more serious, and I was 13 at the time while he was 12, and I dated him for 7 months, like I said, and it lasted throughout our both birthdays. So he was 12, I was 13, then I became 14 while he was still 12, so people definitely freaked out about that. They're like, you're dating someone younger than you? Made a big deal about it, but then he turned 13, I was 13, 14, it's not a big deal. It was very frustrating to date someone that's younger than you because everyone's always judgy. But then again, everyone's always judgy about relationships, and it's really unfair because they're not even in the relationship. They can't decide what you want and what your appeal is and anything. But yeah, so I dated him for a while, and it was a great experience, and I don't regret anything, even though I did some bad stuff, but I do not regret anything because it was a great relationship. And I feel like in life you can't regret everything that happens because everything is supposed to happen for a reason. That's how I feel about life. My friend just got mad at me because she just watched my last video. One second. She just got mad. she watched my last video. She's like, "You're not 15 yet?" And I'm like, "I will be in 2 days, so technically I am 15. My birthday is February 26th, and I was born a day after my mom because I was supposed to be born on the day of my mom's birthday, but she already has a twin and she would not want to share with another person, so she was like, nope, keep it in. Keep it in. My friend just said, "How do you look so fabulous?" Oh, wait. She just texted me, "Don't use that." I'm using it. I'm using it. The answer is, I don't. So, no one's asking me any more questions, and I feel like this video needs to be longer, so I'm just gonna talk to you about my dog. Because it's the only thing I ever do. You know me in real life, you know, like, the only thing I ever used to talk about was my dog. Basically, I don't know what that was. Basically, sorry, I'm stretching. My dog, I got him when he was 8 weeks old. He is a pit bull lab mix, as we suspect, because his siblings look like pit bulls, and he looks like a lab, and his mother looked like a lab. He's the only one that looks like the way he does. Everyone else in this litter looked nothing like him. Like, only little resemblances. I've known him since he was born. I basically know him from my friend, who we weren't really good friends at the time, but she had puppies because she fosters dogs, and so the mother had puppies the same day that I went there, and she showed me the puppies. I was like, ah! But I didn't really see him because I don't really care about him. I cared about the prettiest one because she's pretty, but that's not really what you're supposed to do. You should go for the one that matches your lifestyle the best. So basically, I was eyeing her for, like, I guess a couple weeks until about 4 weeks old, which is when they get their personalities. I was very, consistent on watching each one, knowing which one's energy level, which one will be more likely to gain anxiety in the future, which I was completely right about that, by the way. There was, like, 4 that I already knew. Anxiety. They're all gonna have anxiety. And guess what? I was right. So, but I was trying to find the calmest one, because we're kind of like at this stage where I know I'm a good dog owner. I know I will be a good dog owner, and I was ready for a dog. Not because I wanted a dog, because I was ready for a dog. I was ready for that challenge. I was ready to train. I was ready to do everything. And I was basically a first-time dog owner, but I am better than any first-time dog owner because I know what I'm doing. So, which is why he's really well behaved. I've had no trainers come. It's all me. I don't really watch videos. I just go off of my own beliefs and what I use as my techniques. So basically, but anyways, I was eyeing her Kona, which is the dog that I was going to get, until they're 4 weeks old, and they all got their personalities, and I was like, Patch is the one that he's not anxious, but he's not hyper energy, he's not dominant, he's very calm, and he's very submissive, but he's not submissive anxious, he's just submissive, like, he will go with the flow. He was a very lazy puppy. So I basically took him home one day, not because I just wanted to make sure my mom was, like, kind of in on it, because she's very picky about she's like, I don't really know, but, like, my dad was like, hey, whenever we move here, we should get a dog, and I lived here for about 3 years before that actually happened, which I was really sad about that, but we lived in a rental house, and we couldn't get one, so when we moved here into this specific house, that's when we got him. So we got him whenever he was 8 weeks old, so it was 4 weeks after, but he had already been to my house about 3 times, and so I'd already, gotten used to him, and I went home one day, and he was there, and I was like, okay, he's here, because I'd been used to him being there, but, I went home, and he was there, and my mom was like, hey, we adopted, and I was like, oh, cool, so I didn't make a big deal out of it, which is very healthy to not make a big deal out of it, because you don't want to freak out the puppy, and he was scared of, I remember he was scared of, hardwood floors, or no, he was scared of carpets, because their house had no carpeting, so his foster house had no carpeting, so he was born there, and he wasn't used to carpets, but after a while, after a week, he got used to it, but I just remember how small he was, and whenever he was a baby, he was the size of my hand, and then now he's bigger than me. He's a very big dog, but yeah, that's how I got and met Patch. I think this will be it for today's video, just because I don't want to, make a long video again, because that was kind of a mistake. I'm sure I'll do that again some other time, but thank you for watching.